All right. Um, what are we talking about? What's our game for what you picked today or for this week?
We picked, I picked X-Men Origins Wolverine on the PS3.
Okay.
It was
I was glad when you picked
for
this.
no reason at all.
Yeah, for
For no reason
absolutely
at
no
all, of
reason at
course.
all. You've talked about this game a lot. You like I know you're a fan of this game, and I'll let you explain why. But I can give my little piece as I usually do, where like I remember when this game came out. I remember when X-Men Origins Wolverine came out. I may have even seen it in theaters because this was like almost pre MCU essentially. And this was the movie, obviously where they had Deadpool, but they gave him no mouth. Really like weird,
Horrible.
weird
Horrible
movie.
depiction of Deadpool.
And this is the tie-in video game for that movie, and it was at the time, like people were kind of pleasantly surprised that there was some depth to this game, and it wasn't just a phoned-in movie tie-in game. And I've never played it. I never played it, but I remember vividly the discussion as soon as this game came out about how people kind of maybe had a lower expectation for it, and it ended up exceeding some people's expectations. So with all that said, tell us a little bit about the tie-in X-Men Origins Wolverine video game, and specifically the Uncaged edition, because that's what you told me we're hitting tonight. So yeah, what do you got?
So this game here is the type of game that if you play it just like a dumb hack and slash, you can do it that way. You can play like a God of War title, like the classic God of War ones. Even though this one is not really like a fixed camera, like it was in the classic God of War titles. This is more of a camera you can control. You can like aim to pounce with Wolverine and stuff. But like the level of detail for this game to this day is like impressive to me. Like if you get shot in the rib, you can see Wolverine ribs and the skin and the all of his internal organs reshaping and healing. So this for the PS3 era was amazing. Like I never seen something like this. To this day, I think the Deadpool game does a little bit of that, but not to the extent of the damage you can have on this game. And it had good graphics as well, and the combat was smooth. You can do some combos, you can do a lot of stuff, and it's like doesn't feel like a licensed game when you play it the first time.
I know you love the PS Triple. I obviously have a soft spot in my heart for the PS Triple because it really was like the last game console I spent any real time with was the PS3, and it is a beautiful looking console, and it's also got a lot of interesting hardware in there, the cell processor and all that. So a lot of these games that did get made for it late in its development cycle have some access to some processing power that let them do some unexpected things. So it's interesting to hear. I never knew that there was like that level of material detail with the Wolverine model for damage. That's very cool. Just looking at the trailer, it looks it reminds me of Wet. We've reviewed Wet before.
The color palette.
Yeah,
the color palette and stuff.
And
very PS3-esque color palette.
Yeah, it's a PS3 era thing, but it's also just like the movement in the camera and the way things look in motion. Not that everything looks the same on the PS3, but there is a distinct look to it. And it's like, yeah, it feels like I can see why when people say, like you're saying, you said the combos are smooth and the gameplay looks smooth. I've never seen like footage of this game that didn't look good without there being some explanation, like it was set on easy mode or the person playing it wasn't really putting in a lot of effort or something. But so tell me about the actual gameplay. Tell me why this game is not exactly controversial, but you mentioned to me off stream that the Metacritic page is essentially a battleground and has been since it released. So like give me a little bit of detail. What are similar games? You said God of War. What are some moments or what are some things about the systems in the game? Dive a little bit deeper if you don't mind.
So one of the coolest things about this game that made it really unique to me is like that Wolverine can pounce on people like a cheetah. He just goes and pounces people, and he can aim and he can get to higher places by pouncing. And I thought it was really cool because they some very rarely on the campaign. Sometimes they use that for puzzles and stuff, which is really great because you can just do some crazy stuff on this game. You can like do juggles and cancels. But I think like the vast majority of people who like criticize this game, they're either like criticizing it for being repetitive, but then they're not really trying the combat system out. Just try the same strategies over and over into the enemies, and of course it's gonna get boring. This is like if you play a racing game and you refuse to use the other cars, you just use one car throughout the entire game. Of course it's gonna get somewhat boring. And I think this game doesn't really work on easy or normal. Like it doesn't work at all. I feel it's just too easy and you can cheese everything. There is one boss in particular that shows up. Actually, I think he shows like 2 or 3 times. I think it's 2 times throughout the campaign, which is a big rock guy. And a lot of people seem to have like issues with that boss because he kind of like just throws a rock at you, and you have to do that over and over again to take him down. Like you have to do a pattern basically to get him down. But his hitbox feels a little bit disjointed, and I think a lot of people get like stuck on that wall, and they have like this memory of not enjoying as much because of that character. Because the first time I played it, I felt that enemy was so off. It was almost like they put him into the game last minute, and he just feels off. Sometimes you gotta like make him weak and you pounce on him, and just immediately summons a stone and throws at you to not let you kill him. So I think this enemy really fucked. It's not perfect, like, but I feel like it's mostly because of this enemy. And he shows like 2 times in the game. He has a big ass fucking health bar, and I think he really takes this game from being a 9.
It's the type of
he's like an 8.
It's the type of thing where the design is flawed, but a lot of the core systems are built well and function well. Which is pretty cool. I mean, that is kind of also similar to Wet, where like I played Wet, so I'll talk about it, but that had a lot of good ideas, and then there were certain parts of it that were flat or needed more time, etc. So
Wet has like an infamous scene. I think it's the ending where you're just killing the guy and there's no dialogue and there's no music made for it. And the ending feels for Wet feels like money ran out. I think they were already, when they were making the project, they knew they were biting more than they could chew. So a lot of Wet's design and style are just over-exaggerated to make up for it, I feel sometimes. Like, they be like extra sure that if they were gonna model something or they're gonna animate something, it would be iconic, but they knew what they were making with that. I think that it's kind of like this. Like, Wolverine has a lot of stuff. Like, you can slice someone up, you get to lose their limbs, they lose like their eyes. Like, yeah, that type of shit, man. This game is like so fun to play because sometimes you grab people, you throw people out of windows, the glass shatters, like all of that chaos from the physics.
Well, and that was baked into the this wasn't with X-Men Origins Wolverine, but there was this steady march to make the Wolverine character more mature in the films. So I think that you could get away with more at the time with the Wolverine character, because this was another thing that sets this game apart is how violent it is, and this is obviously before they did Logan, but this is one of the most violent IP based games like this, other than the Punisher game or something like that, but yeah, what do you say? You think Marvel, or you think Marvel what? Because I don't even know, actually, did Fox own them at this time? Did Fox own the X-Men at this time? I think they did. I think
so. 2009.
Yeah, no, because I think the X-Men Origins Wolverine and the last couple X-Men movies were all Fox before the X-Men IP was merged into the Disney Marvel. So yeah, this would have been, I'm guessing this must have been licensed by Fox. So they were probably willing to, they were okay with a little bit more of the video game being more violent than the film that they were putting out, for sure. Fox don't give a fuck.
it was like right at the beginning of the game. There's a scene where Wolverine grabs this guy, and he's trying to take down the helicopter. So he stops the guy, gets him out of the cockpit of the helicopter, and what do you think Wolverine is gonna do? To me, it was like, he's gonna stab the guy and get into to the to the
Yeah.
helicopter. But no, Wolverine literally grabs the guy and literally shreds him on the blades of the helicopter. Like literally throws him up. I was like, damn, son. Like that was one of the very, very few times I was impressed with violence on video games. I've seen it all, but
Yeah.
this game sometimes goes a little bit further
Hey,
and
man.
get really creative. Because
Sometimes when you have a
Wolverine
good
can grab
IP,
people.
yeah, go
He can
ahead.
like throw people in like um pieces of wood and shit. Like impale them on broken pieces of shards of glass. Like all you can think about of like executing a fatality you can do in this game, and it's very fun.
Well, and I was gonna say to just, having an IP like Wolverine, sometimes a video game can take that further than you can take it in a lot of other places, comics or movies or what have you. But it does let you immerse yourself a little bit more, and let's we can wrap this up here. I'll let you say any final thoughts, because there's another Wolverine game that we have to talk about, but we'll do that outside the platinum episode. So your final thoughts, is it a difficult platinum? Is it worth getting up this platinum in 2023? If you've played, the usual questions I ask. But yeah, go ahead.
I think I like to mention like the difficulty of this game is like no, I think to me, since I'm used to hack and slash games, it's a 5. It's a ultra rare platinum on PSN. It's a 3.8 ultra rare, but on PSN profiles is a 16%, which are being compared against other trophy hunters. And this game has like some really cool Easter eggs. Like you can find, I guess, one of the World of Warcraft. I think swords in the game. It's like a place on a nice place you can go, and it's hidden there. There's like you can unlock like the classic Wolverine costume as well for this game, which is pretty sick. You can find a cake and get a trophy. There's some stupid stuff, but you have to finish the game on hard, which is absolutely not that hard because of Wolverine regenerating skill. You just have to be very aware of your stuff. I like the cast too. Sabretooth, Agent Zero, the Sentinels, Blob, Gambit, Deadpool. It's crazy because out of all of these boss fights, the one I liked the most was the Blob, because you fight him on a supermarket, and every single thing there you can destroy. There's even a trophy for you to destroy everything in a supermarket, and it's just like a technical flex, because during that fight he's just charging at you. He's like breaking stuff, and it's all everything flying. Like on the screen is like potatoes, bananas, and all that crazy stuff. I was really impressed.
It
by
really was
what
a
they were
time
able
where
to
people wanted to do shit like that, it was always fun, because there's always something where like you'll find something that's just like one person or a handful of people worked on, like one weird little environmental thing, and it's still impressive to this day. All right, awesome. Yeah, I mean, we'll wrap that up. We'll call that an episode. That's a great amount of time. If you were about to say something, don't let me cut you off. You can get the last word.
I was really just gonna say that, god damn it, man, Deadpool was horrible into this shit. Like they just ruined this fucking last boss fight so hard. Like you played on normal, it's fine, and then you played on a hard. Oh my god, dude!
They did it dirty in the movie and the game. Oh, that's terrible.
And the game.
That's
and
terrible.
The boss fight is fucking dog shit. It's like the worst. It's up there with the monster, with the rock monster.
That's crazy.
On hard at least, because on hard he literally just keeps teleporting all the time and running away from you. It's horrible. It has nothing to do with Deadpool. It's just dog shit.
At least it ended well for Deadpool and Wolverine, I guess. The movie's coming out. All right. That does it for Platinum Soul on Display. Let's get back to the regular set. So if you're a trophy hunter, or if you're looking for something that's a little bit different and you're into the action game genre, see if you can get a copy, or find because I'm sure you can emu. You could probably emu this. You'd have to check the list. I know they've
There's
had
a
some
there's a
big
PC
breakthroughs.
version.
Yeah. Oh, there's a PC version in addition to the
Yes.
PS3. That's awesome. Good to know.
The Uncaged edition is on PC. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and yeah. So if this is your your speed, your bag, check it out. X-Men Origins Wolverine Uncaged now.